Imagine being one of the most powerful predators to ever walk the earth. You're a Tyrannosaurus Rex, 40 feet of pure muscle, bone-crushing jaws, apex of the food chain. Nothing can touch you, except you're dying, slowly, painfully. And the thing killing you? Something you can't even see, something microscopic eating through your jawbone, making every bite agony, starving you to death while surrounded by food. This isn't science fiction. This actually happened. Scientists found a T-Rex named Sue with holes eaten clean through her jaw by a parasite smaller than a grain of sand. And here's the thing that should terrify you. That was normal. For most of Earth's history, this was just how things worked. Let me be crystal clear about something before we go any further. Modern parasites are bad. Mosquitoes kill more humans than any other animal on the planet. Ticks spread horrific diseases. Tapeworms can grow 30 feet long inside your intestines. I'm not downplaying any of that, but prehistoric parasites? They operated on a completely different level of horror, and I'm going to prove it to you. Let's start in the Jurassic period, about 165 million years ago. Scientists discovered fossilized fleas in China that make your skin crawl just looking at them. These things were 2 centimeters long, nearly an inch. Your thumbnail, a modern flea, 2 millimeters. This prehistoric nightmare was 10 times bigger. But size isn't even the worst part. Modern fleas can jump 2 feet in the air with those powerful back legs. These Jurassic fleas, they couldn't jump at all. They had stubby little walking legs with massive curved claws. Why? Because they didn't need to jump. Their host was so enormous and slow that once these fleas climbed on, they just lived there, forever. The claws weren't for hopping around. They were hooks, serrated, curved, designed to lock into feathers or thick hide and never let go. Multiple fossils show the claw structure in disturbing detail. And then there's the mouth. Sweet mercy, the mouth. These fleas had a feeding tube 5 millimeters long covered in backward-pointing barbs. That's as long as an entire modern flea. It had teeth, actual saw teeth designed to drill through dinosaur skin like a power tool. Picture this. You're a feathered dinosaur, maybe a small raptor, and you've got 20 of these things on you right now, each one the size of a cockroach, each one with a serrated drill buried into your flesh, drinking your blood all day, every day. You can't swat them off, they're hooked in. You can't scratch them away, the claws are too strong. You just have to live with it. Walk around with giant blood-sucking insects permanently attached to your body, slowly draining you, making you weaker. And this lasted for at least 40 million years, probably longer. But you know what's worse than parasites you can see? The ones you can't. Fast forward to 240 million years ago. Scientists found fossilized poop in Brazil. Yes, paleontologists study ancient poop, they call it coprolite, from a cynodont, basically a proto-mammal still working out the details. Inside that fossilized dung, parasite eggs, 5 different kinds. Roundworms, flukes, probably some single-celled gut parasites, all at the same time. This animal was walking around with a full ecosystem of parasites living in its intestines, stealing its food, making it sick. And there was nothing it could do. No medicine, no way to purge them. Just had to exist with 5 species of worms in its guts until it died. Here's what gets me. These were herbivores. They ate plants, just ferns and leaves. They weren't hunting potentially infected prey, but the parasites found them anyway. You eat contaminated plants, drink bad water, and boom, worms. Life on land started with animals already full of parasites they couldn't see and couldn't remove. Let's get back to Sue, that T-Rex in Chicago with holes in her jaw. For years, scientists thought it was battle damage. These apex predators fought each other. We have bite marks on fossils proving it. But these holes were different. Wrong shape, wrong placement. The edges were smooth and healed over, meaning Sue's bone had tried to repair itself before death. Then someone compared them to modern birds of prey with throat infections from a parasite called Trichomonas. The lesions matched perfectly. Same smooth edges, same location, same pattern of bone destruction. Trichomonas is a single-celled organism, microscopic. It infects the throat and mouth of birds, causes sores that turn into ulcers, and those ulcers eat through tissue until they destroy the jaw. Birds with severe infections can't eat, can't swallow. The pain is unbearable, and they starve to death with food inches away. Sue had the same damage. A 40-foot-long, 9-ton killing machine with a bite force that could pulverize bone, brought down by something invisible to the naked eye. The parasite got into Sue's throat, maybe from infected prey, maybe from contaminated water, and it spread, created lesions, destroyed tissue, ate through the jawbone from the inside. There was no medicine, no treatment, no understanding of what was happening. Just pain, hunger, and slow starvation while unable to eat. One of the biggest predators that ever lived, killed by a throat infection from a parasite smaller than a dust mite. That's the power of parasites. They don't care how big you are, how strong, how many teeth you have. They get inside and they win. Why don't these nightmares exist anymore? Here's where it gets interesting. There are actual biological reasons why prehistoric parasites were so much worse, and understanding them reveals something uncomfortable about our current situation. First, the hosts were massive, way bigger than anything alive today. And in evolution, parasite size scales with host size. You need a bigger mouth to pierce thicker skin, a larger body to store more blood, stronger legs to grip tougher hide. A flea on a mouse is tiny because it only needs to be tiny. A flea on a bus-sized dinosaur has to scale up proportionally. Modern elephants are the biggest land animals we have, and they're still smaller than most sauropods. We literally don't have hosts big enough to support megaparasites anymore. They can't exist because there's nothing large enough to feed on. Second, prehistoric hosts couldn't fight back. A monkey picks bugs off itself. A cat licks itself clean. A bird preens. Most modern animals have grooming behaviors to remove parasites. Many dinosaurs couldn't even reach their own backs. Ankylosaurs were covered in armor plates. Sauropods had necks too long to bend around. Once a parasite latched on, it became a permanent resident. Third, immune systems were primitive. Your immune system has millions of years of evolutionary refinement, teaching it how to recognize and fight parasites. Early land animals were encountering these threats for the first time. Their bodies didn't know what to do. No defenses, no antibodies, just raw infection with nothing stopping it. That's why fossil evidence shows such high parasite loads, multiple species infecting single hosts, worms in every animal, ticks on every dinosaur. Nobody had evolved the tools to fight back yet, so parasites went absolutely wild. Here's the thing that should keep you up at night. Parasites have outlived every extinction event, every single one. The volcanic eruptions that poisoned the atmosphere, the asteroid that ended the dinosaurs, mass extinctions that killed 90% of all life. Parasites made it through every time. Lampreys have been around for 360 million years, doing the exact same thing, latching onto fish and drinking their blood. No improvements needed. Tapeworms survived extinctions by living inside things that survived. Ticks made it by switching hosts. The strategies changed, but the parasites kept going. The reason they keep winning? They don't need much, just a host. Any host. Doesn't matter if it's a dinosaur, a deer, or a dog. Blood is blood. Intestines are intestines. As long as animals exist, parasites will follow. We got lucky. The really horrific ones, the giant fleas, the drill mouths, the grape-sized ticks, died off because their hosts died off. Not because anyone beat them, because there's nothing big enough to support them anymore. Which brings us to the uncomfortable point. If something dinosaur-sized showed up tomorrow, evolution would just make the parasites bigger again. That's what it does. That's what it's always done. Hosts get bigger, parasites get bigger. It's automatic. The fossil record shows dinosaurs, the most successful land animals in Earth's history, rulers of the planet for 165 million years, covered in ticks, infested with worms, killed by throat infections. Humans have been around for 300,000 years. We're not even close to their record. And we've got parasites too. Different ones. Smaller ones. But they're there, waiting. The only reason we're not dealing with thumbnail-sized fleas right now is because we don't have anything big enough for them to feed on. Being too small for the megaparasites isn't a victory. It's just a technicality, and that's the only defense we have.